Hey, hey, Beachbody Champions. Not sure if this is streaming just yet. It's churning. There we go. Beachbody Champions, how are y'all doing? Hope everybody is well. Just going to give a quick 30 seconds to a minute to see who pops on live, and we're going to get into this goodness. I see I got about 5 of you in the moment. Keep on coming in. Throw me a reaction, an emoji, a comment, or something to let me know you're here. I trust that you can hear me. I did my best to test it out and make sure that my signal and my sound was good. So if you can't hear me, I don't know what we're gonna do at this point. But yeah, drop me something in the comments or a reaction of some sort, and we'll get started here. Very grateful to be here to share. Hey, Queen Keisha, Queen Shannon. That's her right there. I appreciate that. See some of the sister queens coming in. Some names I know, some names I don't. But yeah, grateful to be here. Thank y'all, whether you are here to actually hear what it is that I have to say, or if you're just here because you love me and you want to support, because I know I got a number of y'all here too. I appreciate all of that. So just a little bit about me before we get into what we're going to chat about briefly. I have been coaching for 4.5 years. Absolutely love it. My life has just been enhanced in so many ways, and I don't have time to talk about it on this call because we only got about 15, 20 minutes. But just know that I absolutely love the Beachbody mission, the Beachbody community, the Beachbody tools. I'm here for life. And I am a native of Ohio, born and raised in Toledo, currently reside in Columbus with my husband. Coming up on 14 years in November, we'll be married for 14 years. And my son, who is 10, but then I also parent my 16-year-old nephew during the school year. So that's a little bit about me. So we're going to get into what we're going to talk about today. So it's Team Cup Month. It's Team Cup Month. That's no surprise to any of you, I'm sure. So Team Cup Month historically is a big, big month for the company as a whole, and it often is the biggest month of the year for a whole lot of coaches. I hope y'all are out there crushing it. So I'm trusting that y'all have already brought in a lot of people. You're going to continue to bring in more, but what we don't want to do is have these people come in, right? And then after 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, they fall off because that is not good for their evolution and the achievement of their lifelong health and fitness goals, nor is it good for your business, right? And so if you've been around a while, you've probably heard it. Our business is basically everything that we do. It falls into one of three categories: acquisition, retention, or leadership duplication. Acquisition, retention, leadership duplication. What we're going to talk about today is going to focus predominantly on that second piece of retention. So that way we get these people in here in August and we keep on bringing in more as the months go on, but then we also hopefully will create a space where they are sticking it out, where they feel connected, where they're in this for the long haul. And so the title or the focus is cultivating connection and community in your challenge groups. And so what I'm going to do is share with you what it is that I do, what I found that works for me. I basically decided that it's 10 things that helps to cultivate that connection and community. But what I want to give to you or offer to you is that you eat the hay and spit out the sticks. And what I mean by that is with the things that I share, maybe some of it resonates with you or maybe some of it doesn't. Whatever it is that I share, consider how it fits into your own coaching philosophy, your own dynamic, the amount of time you have, whether you're a full-time coach or part-time or hobby or whatever it may be, whether you're running your challenge group solo or with a success partner or a team of coaches. All of those things are going to factor into how you're able to implement these various things that I'm going to share. But with that, take what works for you, leave behind what doesn't. All right, y'all with me? We good on that? All right, so 10 things. First of all, that I need you to know that thing number one, I personally run my challenge group with a team of coaches. So first, it's me and my success partner. We're at the helm of the ship. And it's the coaches that are on our team that we add on and make them a part of the actual coaching team for the challenge group. And it's more so the newer coaches who have acquired new people, because I do think it's important that they are seen leading. But at the same time, it gives us a way to kind of encourage our older coaches on out of the nest and to run and facilitate their own challenge groups. And so because I run my challenge group with a team of coaches, what that does is it enables us to not feel so burdened or overwhelmed or consumed by creating this connection and community in our spaces so we can keep that high energy and engagement going on a daily basis without us feeling drained or having to put so much time into the retention piece and still have some time for the acquisition and the duplication. And so that's thing number one. And so how the group works is there's a post that goes up, and I think this is pretty much common across the board, but we put a post up every day, every morning, no later than 6 a.m. our time, but typically earlier than that, 4 or 5 o'clock hour, because our people do show up early. And that post is either inspirational or informational in nature, okay? The third thing that we make sure we do is we don't just put the post up and then disappear for the day and don't come back until the next day. But we are in the group throughout the day, giving good energy, giving great engagement with our challengers, and also showing up with our own journey. I think both of those pieces are important, that they feel like they are being encouraged and supported. And it doesn't have to be major. Sometimes it's just I see you rocking it. I'm rooting for you. Things like that, but it goes a long way with our challengers. But what also goes a long way with that is them seeing your show up, them seeing your own process, them seeing your sweaty shine and your video clips of your workouts and your food and your sharing as well. One thing I do want to say, so there's an understanding in our group that the daily show up or the daily behavior are those things I just mentioned: sharing your Shakeology, sharing your meals, sharing a snippet of your workout. But in our daily post, whether it's inspirational or informational in nature, there is always an additional action item attached to the bottom. And that action item doesn't always have to do with fitness. It may or may not have to do with fitness. It may or may not have to do with food. It may be about family. It may be about mental focus. It could be about anything that's going to help us evolve overall, feel more connected, and grow as individuals in living at our best, most abundant life. The fourth thing that we do to cultivate connection and community, we do a weekly gift card. And again, because I do this with a team of coaches, even financially speaking, it doesn't have to burden us so much because we're sharing that load. So it rotates through each coach on our team who has people in the group. And we do a gift card every week, just enough to buy lunch. We're not buying our groceries for the month, but enough to buy lunch. But free lunch tastes better than lunch you have to pay for, am I right? So they really do appreciate that. And the gift card is, it's random, so to speak, but at the same time, it's based off of people's show up. So we don't tell them ahead of time that, okay, well, we're going to give out a gift card for this particular thing or for this post. But it's always based off of the show up on any particular post that a coach chooses at the end of the week. And so what that does is, for our challengers, that's part of what keeps their engagement up throughout the week, because they want that gift card. And you don't know which post is going to lead to the gift card. The fifth thing that I do, and this is kind of new for me in the past maybe 3 months or so, around the time when the rooms came out in Facebook, even though I don't use the Facebook rooms anymore. I actually use Zoom to do this, but it's my coach office hours. And so even though I'm available via messenger or email, whatever, for my challengers to reach out to me, they like this type of, well, not even this, because y'all can only type to me, but I can hear their voice and they can hear my voice, and we can talk live during my coach office hour. And it's really only 30 minutes, but it's a 30-minute segment that rotates each week. I do a daytime one week, an evening time another week, and then I choose a weekend time. And so I rotate through that to try to accommodate everybody's schedules. And I just make myself available for 30 minutes for the people that I coach to come into the room and talk to me about any challenges they may be having on their health and fitness self-care journey, or questions they may have, clarity questions, anything of that nature. But that segment of time is set aside, 30 minutes. Sometimes, a couple of people show up. Sometimes I only have one person show up. And then sometimes nobody shows up, but that time is there and is set aside, and they know that, and they appreciate that it's available. In addition to that, there are what we call coffee chats. And I only started this, me and my team, we started this when the pandemic hit and everybody was at home and feeling disconnected. But we decided, when life gets back to normal, if and when life gets back to normal, we're still going to continue with these coffee chats. And so it's something that we do bi-weekly. And again, because you have a team of coaches, but really it's just me and my success partner alternating between these two things. But sharing that load makes it easier to be able to engage in these different things. And so the coffee chat is very different in nature from the coach office hour, because the coffee chat, what we do in there is it's just open conversation, and it enables everybody to kind of connect with one another. So it's the opportunity for the challengers to connect with their coach, but also for the challengers to connect with each other via this different medium, because it's different when you're in the group and you see a still picture or you just see words. There's a certain energy to that and we appreciate it, but it's a whole nother level when we can share like this and you can hear my voice and I can hear your voice and you can see my face and my mannerisms and all of that. And so the coffee chat, it can be about any and everything. And I have all types of ways of engendering conversation. I actually have, and I use this in my personal life too, but I have a little box of just random topics. It might just have one word on it. It might be motherhood. It might be pancakes. You just never know. And then people just start sharing. And it's a pretty cool time. So coffee chat was the sixth thing. But then also the seventh thing that I do, because besides the connecting with one another, and you have the group space, I also think that it's very important for your challengers to be able to connect with you one-on-one. And I do that more so via the inbox, whether I'm typing it out or voice notes. I know we've heard about that a number of times, but the way that I start that is every week I remind them of the weekly check-in, and it's basically a form that I've created via Google Documents or Google Forms. And it just has a few questions, like they'll do their way in through this form. They'll let me know how many times they worked out that week, how many times they drank their Shakeology. Because the thing is, even though you have the challenge group, right, and you can see them showing up, when you have a number of people that you are connected to and responsible for encouraging, like it's easy for them to hide if they want to. And it's easy for someone to look like they're racking it out. Oh, they're on top of their Shakeology every day or their workout every day. But this form really kind of helps you see, kind of hone in on where they're strong and where they're challenged. So I specifically asked them, how many times this week have you worked out? How many times this week have you drank your Shakeology? How many days this week have you spent at least 10 minutes doing personal development? Another question on there, ask about their biggest challenge. I've asked about their sleep and their water intake for the week. Ask about what they want to celebrate, what they most want to celebrate from the past week. And I always have that question on there at the end of how can I better support you? And I'm grateful to say most of the time they say, you're doing great. You know, I don't need any extra support. I just need that they just need to do this or do that. But I think it's very important that that question is there and that I'm asking on an ongoing basis. And so the weekly check-in form, that's 7. All right. So 3 more things. The 8th thing is, we already know this is a part of our coach vital behaviors, but recognition. But I also think the recognition graphics, you know, and I don't know, everybody does their recognition differently. But from the weekly check-in form, because I'm asking them that thing of what is it that they most want to celebrate for the week, that just right there, just, you know, I don't even have to go searching or go thinking or processing too heavily to know what to openly recognize them about. Like, they've already communicated what it is they're most proud about and what they want to celebrate, so I can celebrate with them. And then throw that into the group with a real fly recognition graphic, see their name and lights, see their picture, you know, just kind of juice it up a bit, because people like to see their name and lights. Is my SP here? I don't know. I can't follow the comments, but that's her language. People like to see their name and lights. So we make sure that we do that. The 9th thing is, you know, this is another thing that I know that every coach does differently, but we refresh and recommit, or we refresh our group every month and ask them to recommit every month. And so though we may have a challenge group, like, we start over the first Monday of every month, and we literally pull people out of that group, add them to the next group. And with that, what I believe that does, even though it's a little bit of extra work, as a coach, rather than just having it ongoing, it's a little bit extra work, but what it does is it calls people to recommit every month, right? To make the conscious choice of, no, I'm here for this. Because the thing is, again, we're going back to cultivating connection and community. There's a term that we use on our team called vampire energy, and we don't like vampire energy. We hate vampire energy. That That's people who are in this space and you getting all this goodness from the coaches and from the challengers, but you're not showing up with your own journey to give anything back. And so that refreshing the group every month and asking them to recommit every month, it doesn't do away with it altogether. If anybody knows a way, let me know. Me and my SP, we need to know. But it does help, scale some of that down so that the engagement and the energy in the group stays pretty high. And then the last thing that we do, it actually started with coaches, the coaching community that that we're all a part of. But the Juice Jam, Team Beachbody Juice Jam. But I'm also a part of a larger community of coaches. Shout out to Beachbody Leadership and Culture community. But we have a playlist. I don't want to call it a playlist. I don't know what you call it. But every Sunday we know, okay, this is what we're doing for the week. And people are loving that. So not only is it creating community in our challenge groups, because we're not only sharing that Juice Jam in our stories, we're sharing it in our challenge groups as well. And people are loving that. They're loving seeing their coaches dance. Even though I can't dance, I know I have a number of witnesses on here who will agree I can't dance, but I get it in anyway. And they love that. They love that energy. They love seeing us in that way. And then they want to get in on it. Not just the dancing, but also the juicing. And in order to get in on the juicing, you need to get the juice, the energize, right? Okay, that's another sell, but it's not about sales. It's about equipping people with what they need, and they love that. But then also because we're putting it in our stories, and the people who are outside of our community, because we're not just sharing our own juice jam, we're sharing the juice jamming of the other queens in the squad that we rock our journey with. And people see that. And that has done a whole lot to help those on the outside see the community that we have and want to be brought into it. So those are my 10 things. I don't know if there are any questions. I would like to say drop them here, but I'll probably most likely do better if you inbox me. But just know that I won't respond right away because the inbox stays full. But I'll run through these things again real quick. So I'll rock with a coach team. We have a post every day. We engage with their show up every day as well as show up ourselves. We do a weekly gift card. I hold weekly coach office hours. And then 6, we do bi-weekly coffee chats. 7, I do a weekly check-in form via Google. Recognition on the regular based off of what they told me they want to celebrate and what they're most proud of. We refresh, recommit every month by having a fresh group. And then lastly, the Juice Jam. All right. That is right within my 15 to 20 minute range. I can see it right here. We're at 17:44. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I see a lot of names that I know. I love and appreciate y'all. I see some names I don't know. Hey, rock it out. Keep winning. We have 13 days before the month is out. Let's rock it and then keep it going into September. All right. Y'all make a great rest of the day.